Chase Sapphire Reserve. Okay, so you may be researching the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips so that you'll know how to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve. But before we get started, I have a quick message. Welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name is Dwayne with howtobildcredittv.com. And on this channel, we talk about everything you need to know about credit cards, and how to make money using credit cards. So if this sounds like something in which you're interested, be sure to subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Okay, so since the Chase Sapphire Reserve credit card came out in 2016, there's been a lot of buzz about this particular credit card from Chase, and rightfully so. The Chase Sapphire Reserve card has a lot of great benefits, and more importantly, the Chase Ultimate Rewards points are very valuable. So I'm going to give you 5 tips that will increase your chances of being approved for the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. So be sure to watch the video all the way to the end because each tip is super important. Okay, so the first tip in order to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve card is kind of the most important one. A lot of people want to know, what credit score do you need to have in order to apply for the Chase Sapphire Reserve card? Well, I would suggest having a credit score of at least 680. Now, this is a FICO credit score, not some credit-wise credit score or the Vantage score. I guess that's probably the same thing. I'm talking about your FICO score. It needs to be at least 680. If you have 700 as a FICO score, that's even better. So I wanted to make sure that I addressed right off the top that your credit score should be at least 680, or if it's 700 or above, that's actually better. So that is the first tip if you're interested in getting the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, is to have a credit score of at least 680, 700 or higher is good. The second tip when it comes to getting approved for the Chase Sapphire Reserve card is to make sure you check and see if you're pre-qualified for any credit cards from Chase. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can do this. You can go to the Chase website and kind of fill out their information to see if you're pre-approved, or you could also get the Credit Karma app, the NerdWallet app. These apps are really good about marketing to you and letting you know, based on your credit score, you can be approved for this particular credit card. So that's actually 2 ways that you can find out if you're pre-qualified or not for the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Once again, that's going to their website and checking the website to see if you're pre-qualified for any cards from Chase, just to kind of get your foot in the door. And also you can use Credit Karma or NerdWallet because, once again, those apps and the website will let you know if you're pre-approved for certain credit cards. And if you're interested in getting the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, then you definitely want to make sure you use those 2 tools as an asset, because if it lets you know that you're pre-approved, chances are you're going to be able to get that credit card. So definitely want to make sure you see if you're pre-approved to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. That is tip number 2. Okay, so the third tip in order to get approved for the Chase Sapphire Reserve card is try applying for a starter credit card with Chase. Now, a starter credit card with Chase would be something like the Chase Freedom Unlimited card or the Chase Freedom card. These 2 cards are good starter cards because with applying for that card and being approved for it, you're kind of getting your foot in the door with Chase. Now, of course, if you already have the Chase Freedom card or the Chase Freedom Unlimited card, then you're probably going to be able to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. So the reason why you want to see if you're approved or get a starter card with Chase is because you just want to get your foot in the door. You want to build a relationship with them. You want to build a good history with them. You want them to know that you're a customer that's going to pay your bill on time every time. And so that's what they're interested in. And so if you can get a starter credit card with Chase, chances are you'll be able to eventually get to a point where you'll be approved for the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. So that is the third tip if you're interested in getting the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Okay, so the fourth tip before applying for the Chase Sapphire Reserve card is to make sure that you're within the 524 rule. So if you're watching the video and you have no idea what I'm talking about, the 524 rule is basically a rule that Chase has that if you have applied for or have 5 credit cards within the last 24 months, your application for any credit cards from Chase will automatically be denied. So you definitely want to make sure that you're within 524. In other words, you don't want to have had 5 credit cards that you've applied for and was approved for within the last 24 months. Now, this is super important. So if you're just kind of getting started with the credit card game, you definitely want to make sure that you get your Chase credit cards out of the way as soon as possible. So that would be your Chase Freedom if you're starting off with Chase. And then eventually, if you want to get the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you can do that as well. And then the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Now, I'm not saying you need to go in that particular order, but what I am saying is Chase has a slew of credit cards that are insanely valuable. And once again, the Chase Ultimate Rewards points are really, really high value. So you definitely want to make sure that you get your Chase cards up front before getting other credit cards. Me, myself, I got the Chase Freedom card back in April 2017, and I didn't know anything about the 524 rule. So what I ended up doing was I got that card, and then I got a whole bunch of other credit cards not with Chase. So I kind of screwed myself there, where basically now I'm in the American Express ecosystem, which is cool. There's nothing wrong with that. However, I can't get any more Chase cards until I wait for 24 months. So every time I apply for an application or a credit card that's not with Chase, I'm kind of prolonging the fact that, now I'm going to have to wait 24 months in order to apply for a Chase credit card. And so the 524 rule is something that's really important. If you're in a situation right now where you haven't had a lot of applications, you definitely want to make sure that you apply for your Chase cards up front before you start applying for other cards with like Citibank, American Express, so on and so forth. So you definitely want to make sure that you do that. So if you didn't know what 524 rule is, now you know, and it's super crucial that you get your Chase cards up front before applying for other credit cards, unless you just don't want a lot of cards with Chase, okay? And Chase has a lot of cards that are good. And once again, the Chase Ultimate Rewards points are insanely valuable. So that is the 4th tip in order to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Okay, so the 5th tip in order to get approved for the Chase Sapphire Reserve is to make sure that you make at least $40,000. Now, $40,000 is not a lot of money, and I'm sure that somebody could probably make less than $40,000 with a really high credit score, or maybe they have a great relationship with Chase and still get approved for the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. However, I want to make sure that you have the best chances possible of getting approved for this card. I would hate for you to apply for the Chase Sapphire Reserve card and get denied because, well, you don't make enough money, or the amount of money that you make is very insignificant because you have a lot of other debt, and you may even have a high credit score. It's possible to get rejected for a credit card even though you have a high credit score. You may even make a lot of money, but you might have a lot of debt. And sometimes these credit card companies, they look at that and they will deny your application based on just that. So I would say, as far as how much you need to make, I would say you need to make at least $40,000 before applying for the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Otherwise, if you want to risk it, and let's say you have a credit score of at least 740 and you might make less than $40,000, you can probably apply for the card, but you definitely want to make sure that you exhaust all your possibilities before. In other words, you got to make sure you probably have, like the Chase Freedom or the Chase Freedom Unlimited, or you have seen that you're pre-qualified through Credit Karma, NerdWallet, or even the Chase website, that you're pre-qualified to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. So that's it, guys. These 5 tips right there that I just gave you are the 5 tips that hopefully you'll be able to kind of use and kind of gauge if you're going to get approved for the Chase Sapphire Reserve card before applying. I hope that helped. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer it as soon as I see it. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you like the video, it helps our channel a lot. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure to smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Once again, my name is Dwayne with howtobuildcredittv.com, and I approve this video. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, take care and be blessed. Peace.